Alright, so welcome to my attempt again at making a YouTube video. It's not like I took a break or anything, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I also took a break from Dota. I didn't really play in the last 2 months because I was getting a little burnt out, so I took a break. Now I'm somewhat back, and I'm hoping to give it a shot. I'm going to hop into player perspective here and jump onto myself once we're unpaused. I am playing PA this game. I have played a couple of games since I've been back. I got recalibrated. I probably played about 15 games since I started playing again after my 2-month break. I was Legend 2 at the end of last season. I am currently Archon 4? Archon 4 right now. So we will jump into this, and we're going to talk through what it is I'm doing, decisions I'm making, that kind of thing, and I'm going to see if any of those decisions are correct, because hindsight is actually a pretty useful talent. So we're going to speed up a little bit here because it's just the laning stage. Anyways, beginning off here, we go to lane with 2 sets of tangos, Stout Shield, Mango, and Sal. Not a daily hero, so I actually bought this Mango. Stacking regen I think seems like a pretty good idea, considering that I was fairly certain I was going to be up against at least Phoenix. I didn't know it ends up being a dual lane of Phoenix and Silencer, which is really quite terrifying, but that's okay. I think this is probably the right set of items. I think this is normally what I start with. There are occasionally times where I would go for a Quelling Blade first in the past, but I've stopped doing that because you can buy it from the side shop and you can't buy a Stout Shield from the side shop. I'm just going to mute all incoming chat for this. Oh, I can't mute all incoming chat. Alright, maybe I can. Maybe it'll change when I'm paused. Nope, it does not work. Okay, in that case, I will just do this so that we don't get any bad words. Alright, so we're in the laning stage. Ends up being a Phoenix Silencer lane. This is pretty horrible in my perspective. And the laning combination here, well, we do a lot of damage with Venge and PA. We don't really, she doesn't really zone out supports, especially a Silencer and Phoenix that can just spam me out. On the plus side, they are pretty easy to kill because they both have low armor, and we are tons of physical damage, and we have Wave of Terror, which I believe she skilled first. Yeah, she did, which is fine. I miss a lot of last hits here. This lane, the laning stage in general, goes really horrible for me. Phoenix Silencer is not a very fun lane to play against, it turns out. I've never experienced it before, but by God, it was bad. We get killed bottom, and Bottom comes bottom as well, but that doesn't really help. She tries to chase down Silencer. I think she actually gets this kill. Yeah, and then Phoenix comes back to lane. The laning stage is really bad. I was initially intending to go for a Battle Fury because I'm that sort of scumbag PA player, but it becomes pretty quickly apparent that that's not a good idea, so I don't. I'm going to speed up through this a little bit more. What ends up happening in this landing stage, and I think is okay, is that the supports leave and they go and attempt to make things happen in other lanes, because sitting here is not ever going to help. They can just spam all of us out with Arcane Curse and Fire Spirits. We don't really have a way to deal with that. I ferry out myself a shit ton of regen, and I still managed to die quite a few times in the laning stage, which is a problem. What I really wanted to look at is how I ended up coming back, because I don't really know. Because this laning stage was agonizing. Here I wait until Arcane Curse comes off, and then I kill the Phoenix so I'm not slowed while I'm running away. If I remember correctly, I might actually die here still. Yeah, I think at this point I realized, A, I shouldn't have attacked twice there, that was just a mistake. But B, I might have just been dead anyways. I pop a salve so that I live through this, and I barely do. And then I have to sit back down here. It might have been better if I hadn't have popped that salve. I wouldn't have been down the 110 gold, and I would have been able to just TP back to lane and start farming again. Instead of having to sit and wait, which ends up being a long time because the courier goes mid. Oh yeah, I got some all chat flames, that's right. Apparently you can't mute yourself, that sucks. I was getting pretty salty at this point because I was getting fucked on in lane, so yes, all chat, obviously. We take a look at last hits. I'm highest on my team, which should, second highest on the team. I guess Kunkka's doing really well. But I don't have that many last hits. 14 at 5 minutes is really, really bad. You can see the Juggernaut there. He's got pretty much a free lane. He's got 26 last hits, which is where I would like to be, but I'm not. They have a 1k advantage, but it's fine. At this point, you see, so Potom has left entirely. Venge leaves entirely pretty soon, because he just keeps dying. So I told him to just go away and not feed. So he listened, which was nice. A lot of this early laning stage is just me getting fucked on like this. As soon as they realized that my team couldn't actually do anything to help me, they just started diving me nonstop. I did jungle a bit, but PA is really bad at jungling. Even with Stout Choke Blade, I don't really have any way to sustain my health. I didn't go early points into Blur because I wanted to be able to blink in and out faster. Because that's really the only way I get away from Phoenix is blinking out onto a creep or something like that. So this is the point where I realized I am fucked. I get a kill here and end up dying. Yeah. Which is fine. Again, this landing stage was very tilting. But that's not why I'm watching this. I think in general, as a general rule, what I should have done for this landing stage as opposed to getting just fucked on over and over again is that I should have given them this tower. They don't take it very quickly, but they should have just been able to take it, and then I would have jungled while they were healing. And maybe if Potom or Venge wanted to just sit down here and get experience. I don't know how they're doing experience-wise. I can check. Venge is 3, Potom is 5. Okay, so maybe Venge should have sat down here. Maybe Potom should have tried to farm down here, but I'm not really sure. I think they both would have just died, same as me, so I'm not really sure if that would have been a better idea. Maybe delaying and saving this tower for as long as possible is the best play. I don't really know. So at this point I realized, man, I am never going to get a Battle Fury at this point that's going to be useful, so I'm just going to go Deso and hope that I can blow up the enemy heroes as fast as possible. And that was my plan at this point. I die here. Slowly. I was pretty upset about that one because they just dove me and no one TP'd, but there was a fight going on top, which I didn't realize at the time because I had no map awareness. Again, I'm salty. I can actually fix this, hold on. Oh no, I can't. Anyways, alright, so this is where things actually went pretty okay. I died and they had dove top, so I TP'd top to enter the fight. PA does a lot of damage in the early game, so I wanted to make sure I was taking advantage of that. I was a little afraid of getting Omni Slash tier, but I really wanted that kill. So I come up and we trade 2 for 2 at the current time. I thought he was going to try to Omni me, so I daggered him to slow him down, and then ran away. He didn't end up chasing me, and I was like, hey look, a free creep wave, and then Centaur came and was like, I want this creep wave, so I gave it to him. And by that, I mean I was very upset about it. So at that point, I had just gotten 2 kills. 2 kills. I have 4 kills. I had gotten 2 bottom, and then I got 2 top. And I was like, okay, this is maybe going okay. I don't have very many last hits. As you can see, I'm below the Phoenix. I'm below the Potom. I have 29 last hits at 11 minutes, which is really bad, but I do have 4 kills, which is something. So at this point, I was like, okay, well, I can't really go bottom again, because A, there's 3 heroes there, so I'm not going to be able to farm. And B, I can't kill anyone, because the Phoenix has dive, and Silencer is not being dumb and playing too close, which is good for him. So at this point I said, okay, let's farm a little bit. I realize now I should have gotten an Aquila earlier. I was having some real mana problems spamming out all my spells, as you would as a PA, but I forgot that was a problem. Because normally I go Battle Fury, so I don't need to get an Aquila, because I have enough mana regen based off of the Perseverance. So I had to go back for an Aquila, and I realized, hey, this is a good idea. I can sustain longer in the jungle, and I'm better at fighting and pushing, so I'm going to go Aquila, and I did that. We already have it on bottom, but that doesn't really matter. I wasn't really playing near her, so it didn't really come into play. This is just a mistake. Oh man, if we had had any detection, that would have been great. Or if he hadn't had a lucky Invis rune, or if Potom had hit that arrow like half a second earlier before he actually activated it. There was just a lot of ifs and buts, but anyways, we forced Quap out of lane pretty much, so that's something. So again, there's a fight going on, and I realize, hey, I should probably be involved in this, but I'm too late. I'm not really sure what Lion was doing there, but he's very dead. As you can see, I'm missing a shit ton of last hits because I'm bad at the game. I brought myself out some more regen, a Clarity, and a Mango. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've started doing recently is just ferrying myself out a lot of regen in the mid-game. Or the early mid-game, I guess, just because it's so valuable, especially on such a low stat hero like PA. Salves and Clarities and Mangoes maintain a lot of their value.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So I had not realized that Kunkka had farmed that, but I needed to heal because I was not in any sort of fighting shape. The moment that he uses Arcane Curse, he's a dead hero, and he just doesn't realize it. If he has no way to slow me to make sure that I can't jump on top of him, he just dies. At that point, he probably should have just turned and fought. I only have 1 point into Blur, so that's what he should have done, but he wouldn't know that, obviously. Again, I'm maxing my Blink over Blur because I need to be able to fight, and that's what that does. That right there, that double last hit with the dagger and the jump in was so satisfying. So, we are now 14 minutes in, almost 15 minutes into the game, and I'm still not even close to the top of the network, or the top of the farm chart. 47 last hits, that's it. However, I am third on net worth, and pretty close third at that. Our Juggernaut's still quite far ahead. But we're making some progress on returning. We're going to change back to this. I have the most kills, I think, at this point. Yeah, so I'm 5 and 2. And I think this is the point where Silencer and Phoenix realized, hey, you know what? We can definitely dive him, but if we overstep, he's just going to kill us. So I was calling here for Venge to come and fight this guy. It didn't end up mattering because I got a really lucky crit, and I got another kill on the Phoenix. So at this point, that right there is where they're like, ah, shit, we have problems. So, the goal as PA in general in this game, at least, and mostly in general, is that you can just kill anyone and everyone. So, you want to be able to flex on people so that, A, they are afraid of you and let you farm wherever you want, and B, so that you can get a shit ton of kills and snowball off that. Very much a snowball hero. So, PA, normally when people go Battle Fury on PA, which is common at least in my bracket, you just farm, but in this case that's definitely not what you want to be doing. I don't farm particularly quickly, as you can see, but I do fight. So that's very good, really good silence there from Silencer. Probably saved his life, maybe saved a team fight. I think I ended up going on this, yeah. So if he didn't stomp, unfortunately, but if he had, we might have been able to get a kill there. A lot of people TP in, and I'm a little bit afraid of jumping in. They have a lot of extraneous damage, and I have no health. Quap ends up just jumping on me, and I have to commit into the fight. I probably could have dodged her ulti for a little bit and maybe gotten another kill, but I end up not because I'm bad. This is definitely something that I learned a little bit later into the game, that I should just be dancing around the outsides of fights, because a lot of their burst damage and team fight is non-targeted and can blow me up very quickly. But if they blow all their stuff or they miss their stuns, they end up just dying to me. This was another fight. I'm just alive now. I don't really care about anyone else in this game. So Juggernaut here, I realized, hey, we got a problem, but I don't... This was a bad jump because I was afraid of just getting ulted. Thankfully, he was also afraid of ulting me. I'm not really sure why he didn't just kill me there, but he could have. Anyway, so there's some creeps here. I'm like, oh, cool, I get to actually farm. That's a nice change of pace. We're still a little bit behind. Not too far. Our Potom is farming a lot. She isn't doing much other than farming, but she is farming. I didn't know if that was what we should be doing, but that's what we were doing. Right, so we can take a look at the kills again here. Oh, we can actually take a look at last hits. I'm curious about this one. So yeah, I was still middle of the chart, barely above the Centaur in terms of last hits, which is interesting. Even though I was third on net worth. Again, I'd fallen behind a little bit because there were a couple of fights. And there were not as many fights. If I'm not fighting, I'm not getting my net worth. I farm very slowly. The biggest interesting thing here is that Kunkka is actually below me in net worth, and he should have been doing a lot better, I think. There was a fight bottom. The start of the fight, I didn't have a TP off cooldown, and I was pretty sure it was a bad fight. I didn't think they were actually going to initiate into it, but they did. Anyways, so when that fight happened, I was like, okay, I can't join this fight at a reasonable time, so I'm just going to farm. And then I'm going to farm the mid lane here and realize, hey, they're just diving for some reason. And decide, maybe I can do something here. So I run over here to try to help our Kunkka. I have my Deso, so this is a pretty big power spike for me. So we end up getting 2 kills in return. I think actually we might get a third here. I'm really, really hoping for a crit here. He blinks away. I think I might die, actually. So I'm just trying to dodge this sunbeam. I keep clicking on the fucking hill. I jump in and get a kill there, and then die to Juggernaut. That's what it is, yeah. Okay, so we go... Right now, we're 3 for 2. Both of our cores did die, which is a problem, but... Oh, this is just awful. Yeah, so Centaur was about to stun, and then Venge swapped him out. Venge had a couple of really bad swaps this game, but on the whole, he didn't play poorly. So, as we see after that fight there, I'm still 1,000 net worth ahead of the Kunkka, but I'm still 1,000 net worth behind the Quap. Or, I guess 500 net worth behind the Quap, and 2,000, 3,000 behind the Juggernaut. Juggernaut went Battle Fury and is farming out of his mind at the moment. He probably should be further ahead considering the free lane, but he didn't end up actually taking that many towers, which is the biggest problem, I think. He started getting trapped into fighting. So we're behind by 3k at this point. 20 minutes into the game. Things are looking a little bit grim. They have a lot of really good team fight, and I think it was at this point where I realized, hey, they have no solutions for me at the moment. Even if I don't get a BKB immediately, which I didn't really want to do, they still can't really kill me unless I get stunned. And they only have stuns online, so I just need to hang outside of the fights until they use all their big spells, and then I can jump in and hopefully just kill. Get a kill there. Said, hey, we should probably run out of this egg. Kunkka gets caught, unfortunately, but he's probably okay. Again, we're doing pretty well on the kill chart. We have 10 kills at this point. Potom buys back here. She's a little unhappy. Lion bought back as well, which was interesting. I really wanted to fight here, but there wasn't much we could do. He spins off the arrow, obviously. Lion got really saucy here and just exploded. But I ran the wrong way, and Juggernaut just killed me. I should have ran towards the creeps as I was hovering there, or towards my friendly heroes. It might not have mattered. Yeah, I could have gotten unlucky, but again, that was a bad play. So this, I respawn, I see, oh, there's some creeps pushing, they're safe to farm. I desperately need farm. I decide against going BKB here because I'm a greedy piece of shit, but also because, again, as long as I don't get Lion stunned, and at this time he doesn't have a Blink Dagger, I don't believe. No, he does not have a blink dagger. So I'm feeling pretty confident. At this point, I didn't realize that they were going like 4 orchids, but still. So they've used all their stuff. They've used their big ultis. I can hop in. So I jump in and kill Silencer. I jump in and kill Lion. Jump in and kill Phoenix. And then Quap turns around and kills me. I had to commit at that point. As soon as I get ulted by her, there isn't anything I can do. She gets out here, but we end up taking this tower, which is a huge deal. It was a really good fight. Being able to pick off their backlines like that is kind of what I end up doing for the rest of the game. Again, we're still behind in net worth, but not nearly as much. Now we're above in net worth, but they still have the 2 top net worth heroes. Their Quap ends up not doing that much this game, so it doesn't actually matter, but it's interesting. We're gonna keep skipping ahead here. I spawn. I don't really know what to do here. That's why I'm just standing in base. I had no clue what I was supposed to be doing. I really wanted to get my Basher before the next big team fight, so that's what I was looking to do. We see a team fight going on bottom, but I figure that they're probably okay because it's just a Phoenix. Ends up not being just a Phoenix. So they all get egged. And I'm thinking about going in here, but it's very spooky. But I decided, alright, you know what, we can do this, we can jump in. I do a lot of damage, so let's fight. So I get a double kill here, and then I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna get fucked on, but we have the shrine, and then Ven swaps me out, and I blink in, and it was just really bad timing. I fucked up there. I should have just let Ven swap me out, but I don't. And then I start flaming him. Which is true. He should have had a much better game than he had. He's only 3k ahead of me right now, and he had a totally free lane. And he's got a Battle Fury, but he didn't actually farm that much, I don't think. If we take a look at last hits, he's got less than 200 last hits in 27 minutes, which is pretty bad, honestly. It's not great. I have less than 100 last hits, which is awful, but we're making do. This is another big team fight. They use all their team fight ultimates, and I'm like, alright, well, I'm just going to hang out here. I know that Juggernaut doesn't have ulti just yet again, so I am looking to go in on this. I'm just waiting for the right moment. So I jump in and kill Phoenix before he can do anything else, and then I get silenced, or stunned by Lion, that was a great stun by Lion. And that right there is how I die. I have to buy back here, otherwise we lose the tower, I'm pretty sure. Which is unfortunate because it delays my BKB, but ends up not mattering. Some BM tips there from the Juggernaut and myself. So that was still like an okay fight. We went 2 for 2. I did buy back, which sucks, but we're still doing okay. Jump in and get a bash. I think at this point he might have ulti again. He doesn't, but I thought that he might. He gets swapped. This is the point, yeah. So he swaps into Potom, who instantly dies, but we do end up killing the Juggernaut, so it's a fine trade. It just sucks that Potom probably didn't have to die, but it's okay. So we just took a pretty big fight, and I decided, you know what, we should be pushing here. We should definitely be trying to take this tier 1. But my team jungles instead, so don't do that. When we have this advantage right here, we have 40 seconds without Juggernaut. We know that they just used all their teamfight abilities. They're back off cooldown now, but they're close. So Venge just commits by herself for some reason, and she's just dead, so I leave her. Just really fucking dead. So at this point in the game, I realized, alright, so I need to get a BKB. Obviously. That was always going to be my third item, I'm pretty sure. So that I can just man up on everyone as soon as I get global. I can just pop BKB and jump in, and there isn't anything they can do about it. So we take a pretty big fight. My team takes a pretty big fight, I should say. I didn't really do anything there, but they did, which is nice. And I was like, all right, we just took this big fight. We got a minute without Juggernaut. Take that tower and then come and Roche with me. So it takes a little bit of convincing, but that actually does work. Kunkka's like, all right, cool, we'll come. And as you can see now, I've now surpassed the co-op in net worth, and Kunkka is closing in on ours as well. I think one of the things that I do the least is take Roshan when I should, especially on heroes like this, where all I need is just a free Aegis and we can take a fight. So I take Aegis, I get my BKB. This is a huge timing. My BKB is flying in on the courier right now. We're just gonna go heal. I get a haste rune and I see this pink player coming and I'm like, alright, this is just a free kill. And it is. Just exceptionally fucking dead. And this is really what ends up happening to their backline for the rest of the game. Is I've now reached a point where I do enough damage that I can just blow them up. This is my interaction with Silencer. He doesn't understand what dude means, and so I yelled at him because that's what you do in pubs. So we're at this point. I'm feeling pretty strong. I got a BKB. I got an Aegis. We just took a big team fight, and I'm thinking, all right, cool. So we need to be pushing. We have this Aegis. We need our team to come and fight with us. And my purple player, so Kunkka and Venge are on board. And orange and yellow are jungling or something. I don't know. And that's my point, is that they're really squishy. We can just kill them. We can just kill them over and over again. So, we are... we're closing in on this base, and I'm trying to convince orange and yellow to come and help, but they don't, which is a little bit spooky. We probably shouldn't have taken this fight, but for some reason they end up blowing fucking everything trying to kill me. So the only thing they haven't used there is egg and Juggernaut ulti. So they egg immediately as soon as I'm up, and I pop BKB. And then they Juggernaut ulti, not on me, which is really all that matters. They actually get fogged by the silence, and this becomes a pretty free fight. Kunkka does a shit ton of damage. We get this big Kunkka run buff, which is massive. And we take a huge fight here. Kunkka's rum saved my life there, like massively. And you can see us now, we're skyrocketing up the net worth chart. We got an 11k lead. Really, really big fight for us there. We didn't get any racks or anything. We ended up taking the mid ones instead. Kunkka, or Potom and Centaur weren't at that fight at all, but they managed to at least push a lane, so that's good. So Quaptum didn't kill me. I got a little bit too aggressive there. I got way too greedy here. And then as soon as, for some reason, so Potom TP's out, which is the right choice, and then Centaur just stays and misses his blink, which is really rough. But he gave it the college try, which is really all that matters. So that push went really poorly. We should have just played a lot safer. This is me being just massively confused about how this game is going so well. I have 19 kills. 9 deaths, admittedly, which is why I'm so confused how it's going so well, because I feel like I'm dead all the time. But I have a shit ton of kills, which is something. Now I decide, alright, it's Abyssal time. It ends with not mattering. But so this is not me, I don't care. Potom is now finally farmed for 36 minutes, so she actually does some damage, but TP'd bottom because the lane was pushing, and I was like, alright, cool, we just need to farm for now. We just took a really bad fight mid. I knew we had some item timings coming up, so I was like, alright, whatever, we're good. Again, Silencer tries to go and farm somewhere that he shouldn't be able to, and he gets punished for it. We group up bottom. They have all their abilities up at this point, which is something I'm a little wary of, but there's no Silencer, and we're pretty sure he doesn't have buyback, so we just we decided to push. I pushed the mid lane in because I want to take that Rax. I didn't realize how bad this fight was going initially. We get the big Tonka run buff, which is great. And Juggernaut ends up dying to the cleave. And that is pretty much game. Because they don't have any buybacks. There's a minute without Phoenix, 90 seconds without Phoenix, 80 seconds without Juggernaut. And I'm like, alright, we just need to push. And because I have a Deso, someone's got a meme hammer, we just push really fast. And it's like, alright, let's just take all the racks instead of trying to fuck around and take a tier 4 and then we fuck it up, we just lose the game, so. We take megas, and then we're good. And that is pretty much the game. So, there we go. So that's the game right there. I think that in general, a lot of mistakes that I made ended up being effectively going unpunished just because of the hero that I was playing. PPA is definitely one of those heroes that you can just jump in and kill. Unsurprising to me, at least, my laning stage is the worst part of my game. My mid game and late game actually make sense. My early game is absolutely atrocious, and it's not just for playing safe lane, it's playing every position. Occasionally I have okay 4 games in the early stage, but mid, off lane, safe lane, I just get fucked on over and over and over again. So we're looking here, and for some reason this guy's ancient. I think that was last season. We can take a look at the graphs here just to get a better idea of what happened. And I think the biggest thing to notice here is that we were never really that far behind. They had a really good early game, and they should have been able to capitalize more off that, especially with Quap and Juggernaut. But Juggernaut went Battle Fury and then didn't farm very much, and Quap just kept dying. She kept getting picked off and punished. Take a look at the net worth at 20 minutes, and Quap is the top, or second highest. And then at 30 minutes, she's still second highest, but by a much smaller margin. Oh no, about the same. Oh no, I guess about the same margin, comparatively. She just didn't end up doing anything. I don't really know what happened. I need to look at her items. That would probably help. Okay, so that's the problem. She went Yules instead of working first. That would explain what happened here. So she went Yules, and then she couldn't kill anyone. And then she went back for an Orchid and didn't get to 25 minutes. So that's actually a pretty big deal. So, in general, I think that, things that I learned. My laning stage is bad, and I don't know how to fix it. I've looked at tons of replays recently of people being actually good at laning stages, and I really don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong. It's clearly something because I'm getting fucked on repeatedly, but I don't know what it is. B, my mid-game decision-making and going for kills, especially right now, with this 2-1-2 fighting lineup, I think that we're more likely to be more successful with that kind of play. And 3, despite the fact that playing carry right now is pretty awful just because they're really strong dual lanes, I got fucked on in lane there, for example. Playing a carry like PA or like Ursa, I guess, is pretty in the meta right now that can just get one item and start killing is probably the best option just because you're not going to get that space or that time to farm. I think I need to watch like a shit ton more laning stage replays. If someone's got any suggestions for me on how to improve my laning stage, I know that we kind of blitzed through it because I was just getting fucked on in this game. But in general, some laning stage tips, that'd be great. I don't really know what I'm doing wrong, but it is definitely something. Yeah, let me know if this was at all enjoyable or terrible. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do something like this more often. I might do something for TI. I'm going to TI this year, so we'll see how that works out for me. I will talk to y'all later.
And now the somebody say, could you pick it up far? But and I and see, but I don't. That's so cool. How do you do that? I'm geeking out right now. I I could figure it out.